Hello, 2-year-old Little Rock volunteers. I'm Megan, Director of Children's Ministries. Hopefully we've met or I've seen you before, you've seen me. I come to you today from our former, although it looks current, nursery downstairs, and this is the room that adjoins our current Little Rock space. And the reason I'm coming to you here and that this is a very special message just for you is because we have some really exciting changes here in our nursery and preschool ministries that you are actually the most important people to know about. So this is a special message just for you. All right, here we go. We are really excited that this coming week, March 12th and 13th, we are opening up our new nursery, which is upstairs in the newly renovated office space and nursery area. Nursery will now welcome children ages 0 to 2.5. Now keep in mind that age increase is only going to affect new families starting this coming week. Any existing children in our program right now who are 2 to 2.5 will sort of stay kind of where they are, but that's something that I'm going to fill you in on now. All right, so we have 0 to 2.5 upstairs moving forward. We will have 3 years through 5 years in our current Little Rock space and this room. This is the cool and exciting news that I get to bring you today. Through lots of conversation, discussion, prayer, and consideration, we have decided as a team that this space, our current or former nursery area, will become what we're kind of viewing as a transitional place for kids ages 2.5 to 3 years old. The transition from nursery to preschool is sometimes dramatic, and if kids are not in preschool yet, that switch from kind of a little bit more loose structure to a more not strict, but set structure can sometimes be a little intimidating. And so what we're hoping to do with this space is kind of create a buffer. So while they leave the nursery at 2.5, they don't quite enter preschool until 3. And that gives us 6 months to kind of ease them into what we do, give them a taste, and also give them lots and lots of time to explore and just to play in here. So here's how this is going to work. The next 2 weeks, March 12th and 13th, and March 19th and 20th, the 3 to 5-year-olds are going to be participating in a special part of the Palm Sunday service. So this coming week they have rehearsal, and next week they actually go into the worship service for Palm Sunday. During those times, the 2-year-old group will come into this space, explore it. We're going to have a special story and kind of outline for you that you'll use in this space, and this is kind of just a time for the kids and you to kind of get familiar. Hopefully it gives us some insight into maybe some kinks or details that we need to work out that we just aren't quite aware of until you're actually in the room. And then the last week of the month, Easter weekend, so March 26th and 27th, we will begin this space as a fully functional buffer zone for our 2-year-old group. Okay. What that means is for the next 2 weeks, kids will continue to check in and check out in the way that they have been forever. So they check in and out of Little Rock. You'll come into this room, and then you'll kind of go back into the other room for some larger group things once the 3 to 5-year-olds come back from Palm Sunday and from rehearsal. On Easter Sunday, 2.5 to 3-year-olds, or 2 to 3-year-olds, and I'll get to that in just a second, will check in here by their parents. So we'll basically have 2 sort of check-ins. We'll have a 2-year-old check-in, and we'll have a 3 to 5-year-old check-in. Kids will also check out of this room. So we'll have 3 to 5-year-olds check out of the other room, 2-year-olds check out of this room. Okay. Here's some of the nitty-gritty details. They're a little bit confusing, but I need to make sure that you understand them so that you can communicate them effectively when parents inevitably have questions. So as I mentioned, starting this week, we have 0 to 2.5-year-olds in the nursery, and the 2.5-year-olds are for new families. So if we get a new family that has a 2-year-old before they're 2.5, they go upstairs right away and we don't ask any questions. Same as if we have any new 2.5 to 3-year-olds. They come into this room. That's starting Easter Sunday, like I said. And so that's easy. The trick is the kids that we already have, that have already transitioned out of the nursery, have come into Little Rock, but are still in that kind of 2 to 2.5-year-old space. And here's what we're working on. There are a handful of kids that we really believe will benefit best from returning to the nursery. Jen and I are making those phone calls to those specific families, and so that is not something that you will need to address with parents unless they hear from us. They stay downstairs. Okay. This space may not be able to handle the entire 2-year-old group for some of our services. Saturday night we feel pretty confident this space will work, and most of the time, Sundays at 10:45, this space will also work. It's really kind of our Sundays at 9 a.m. That we're kind of thinking that this space may kind of cap out. So what we're also doing is we're looking at sort of our top layer of 2-year-olds, so those 2-year-olds that are within 2 or 3 months of turning 3, and most likely they will be promoted into the 3-year-old group. What we're hoping to do is keep this space to around 15, maybe 20. 20 is going to be really tight in here, so we want to kind of keep this room to 15 kids. And we're going to manage that from our side. Between Jen and Allie and myself, we will kind of look at who we've got. Kids will move into this room, and this is moving forward. Kids will move into this room and out of this room on a case-by-case basis as determined by the directors of each of these different areas, myself included, and we'll also look to your input as far as like who is really ready to move into the next space. In this email, because I want to cut this a little bit short because I know this is a very long video message, in this email I'm going to kind of outline what a typical Sunday or Saturday service time will look like for this room. You'll notice that there is a lot of space for play, and that's really what we want. We want 2-year-olds to have the time to explore, to play, to just have a good time with each other. We are going to give you tools to make sure that you are still able to give some really good content and some really good spiritual focus to their time, even though they might not be in like an actual outlined activity. You will have story time, a little bit of worship, and some sort of gamer activity. We'll also have some supplies and some things in here and a list of possible activities. If you notice kids kind of starting to go a little nutty, you can bring them back into some of that. But it's going to be a lot more free-flowing. But hopefully those structural elements will help them transition, right? They're coming from no structure and going into more structure. So this is supposed to feel like a middle space. Overall, thank you, first of all, for hanging in with me through this very long video. I hope it makes sense. I'm going to type some of this out too. We will continue to talk and email and send more video messages, so please keep up with communication from us. These next couple of weeks are going to be a little bit wild. They might feel a little tense. What we really need from you as volunteers is to kind of meet questions by parents in a positive, forward-thinking kind of way. If you don't know the answer to a question that they ask, please refer them to Allie, Jen, or myself. We will make sure that you have contact information, that we have business cards available in this room for you. So if you don't know, say, gosh, that's a really great question. Here's Megan's business card. Please contact her. She will be able to fill you in. But we want this to be a fun, exciting new possibility. We think that this is going to be the best possible option, not only for our 2-year-olds to kind of have some more specialized, developmentally appropriate programming for them, but we also feel like freeing up a little bit more space in our 3 to 5-year-old room will really give them the best possible experience. Your partnership on this is going to be really important. So thank you. Thank you for everything you do. Thank you for caring for 2-year-olds the way that you do. We are very excited. If you have questions, please, please, please email or call. I will put my contact information in this email. And in the coming weeks, we ask for your patience. There's going to be just a little bit of slow movement because we're trying to figure all this out, and there are going to be things that come up that we didn't anticipate, and so we'll ask for your patience on that. And we also welcome your feedback. We're doing this for a couple of months to the end of the school year to just see how it works, and then we'll revisit. So any comments you have, suggestions, ideas, if you think that this works, that's awesome. If there are ways that we can improve this, please let us know. Again, thank you so much for your time. I know this was a very long video, and look forward to seeing you around very soon. God bless you.